The core values exercise is a framework for discovering your core values. It's a really valuable tool for getting to know yourself on a deeper level and feeling more confident in who you are. Because when you can clearly articulate what is important to you, you're in a better position to take better care of yourself, say no to the things that don't serve you, make lifestyle changes that feel right to you, stand up for what you believe in, pursue meaningful goals, and make important decisions. You can use those core values that you've identified as a guide for making decisions, as a guide for prioritizing, and as a guide for setting meaningful goals. Having a clear set of values also reduces the potential of regret and internal conflict that generally happens when your actions aren't aligned with your values. As you can see, there are so many benefits to identifying your core values, and it really is an eye-opening exercise. Before you complete the core values exercise, it is important to remember two things. Number one is to adopt a beginner's mindset. So what we mean by this is letting go of any preconceived ideas you might have of what your values look like and create space for new revelations and new insights to take place. Number two is to let go of what you should value. Be really honest with yourself and let go of the expectations imposed by society, family, friends, colleagues, and really tune into what is important to you. This is about your values, not anyone else's. So just remember that living by someone else's values is only going to spark internal conflict since you're not being true to yourself. So two things to remember: adopt a beginner's mindset, and number two, let go of what you should value. For this exercise, find the prompt card titled Discovering Core Values and Beliefs and complete the prompts on the other side. You can use the lined pages starting on page 22 to write your responses. Once completed, read over your responses without judgment and search for the deeper meaning. What does each response say about your values? You can use the brainstorming space on the next page to create a list of values. You might even find it helpful to complete this sentence for each response. It's clear that I value. Your responses might point to one value or a few values. It's perfectly fine if many of your responses point to the same value or the same values. This just illustrates their significance, and it will make it a lot easier to refine your list of core values in the following step. Instead of repeatedly writing the same value, you might like to create a tally next to the value and take note of how many times it comes up in your responses. Once you've extracted a list of values from your responses, the next step is to group values that share a common theme and then select a word that best represents each group. So you can use a template on page 9 to complete this step. So just as an example, values like personal growth, learning, personal development are all related. So personal growth might work as a central theme for these values. The next step is to refine your list down to 5 core values and rank them in order of importance to you. So these are the values that resonate with you on the deepest level. And there's a template on page 10 for you to complete this step. If you need a little help prioritizing or ranking your core values, you might like to ask yourself the following questions. Why is this value important to me? Does this value represent how I show up in the world? Do I consistently stand up for this value? How would I feel if I had to compromise on this value? And when you are asking yourself these questions, be mindful of any strong emotional reactions, because those are cues as to what is truly important to you. The last step is to describe what each value means to you. So what does living by each value look like? For example, if one of the core values you've noted down is personal growth, This might mean upskilling consistently and stepping outside of your comfort zone.